Good morning, everybody. Okay, today I'm going to talk to you about stuff. And the reason I'm going to talk to you about stuff is because of somebody I was just mentoring and working with and helping to realize is that they had developed a survival mechanism to stuff. So we're going to go ahead and talk about stuff today. How can we develop a survival mechanism when it comes to stuff? Well, you have your brain. This is just going to be a simplified brain. And right here is your prefrontal cortex. This is responsible for all the rational, logical thinking part of the brain. This is where, we make decisions and we process things. So this is all the processing. Then there's this little portion here, which is called the limbic system. Well, the limbic system is responsible for survival. Now, we can train our brain for survival for a number of things. Well, this person and a lot of the persons that I've worked with, they've trained their brain that they need stuff to survive. Let me give you an example of how this can happen in a brain. Say, for example, you have a table, and this table is in the middle of the living room. And let's say that for some reason somebody came in threatening to harm your family or to harm an individual, or it could even be a family member that was ready to harm somebody else. And as they're running through the house, they trip on this. So this person's running through the house and they're chasing this other person over here, but as they're running, they trip and they fall. Well, now our brain can see that stuff, having things in the way created safety, because then this person over here is now safe because the person that was chasing them has fallen. They tripped over stuff. So now our brains instantly remember, oh, stuff equals safety. So that so then if we start relating stuff to be safe, we start to accumulate stuff. We start to gather and bring more stuff in. We start to save more things, and it's hard to get rid of things. So now let's also relate that to the stuff being, oops. Now instead of the stuff being physical stuff, it's going to say it's an emotional stuff. We've got this emotional stuff going on all the time. And for everybody it's different. We have emotional stuff, we have physical stuff, we have mental stuff. Well, as a child, you may have gone through an experience that has just rocked your world. Maybe it was some abuse. Maybe, there was a safety issue, a traumatic event. Well, during that time, as that event was happening, your brain took whatever was going on and converted it to a survival mechanism. So if you are struggling, something happened and there was a traumatic event, whatever was going on at that moment instantly could say, oh, if we do this, then we can avoid the trauma. Therefore now that thing, and maybe it was, tripping over stuff, maybe it was, crying, and then all the attention that was going on because of a fight then turned to you. So now you realize, okay, if I cry and then I take all that emotion on myself, then everybody else is safe, and I'm protecting people because I'm staying emotional, I'm staying crying, I'm internalizing and bringing it all onto me. And then we start to think that we can handle it all. Well, see, because I've protected them, so I'm safe now, and they're safe, and I can deal with it. I can handle the pain and suffering, which we don't realize is we can't. We think we can, but then we go into other negative behaviors to deal or to learn to manage the stuff that we thought we could handle. So in each of our lives, we have stuff. It may be physical, it may be emotional, it may be mental, and those are different. But what stuff is it that you're holding on to? And what's causing you to hold on to it? When you identify what that is, then you're able to start healing, connecting, building stronger and better relationships, and you're no longer relying on that stuff to be safety. Because your brain has internalized that mental, physical, emotional stuff. Your brain has internalized that it is needed to survive. Literally, it believes it is either life or it is death. It thinks that you have to have this mental struggle or this challenge, because if you don't, you will die. If you don't have this stuff that protected you or protected somebody when they were being chased and were being threatened to be harmed, if you don't have that stuff, you will die. That's what our brain is telling you. And so when you recognize that what your brain is telling you and you are mindful of what it is, then you can start changing that. You can start to alter that and change your brain and say, I no longer need this stuff to survive. I no longer need this mental stuff, this emotional stuff, this physical stuff to survive. I challenge you to look at the stuff in your life and to identify, is it serving a purpose? What is that purpose? Is it a healthy purpose or is it a negative purpose? Is it keeping you stuck in the same path and going back to past behaviors over and over again because it's easy? You're amazing. You really are. Thank you for listening. I hope you can realize that this stuff that you've got in your past, that you've trained your brain that you need to survive, you don't need it to survive. Thank you for listening. You're amazing. Have a fantastic, wonderful day. Please share this. There's somebody out there that has stuff that's keeping them stuck. Thank you.